Welcome back. So let's go ahead and take a look at arrays of structures. Anyway, in the previous example, we set the values of attributes for b1 variable 1 by 1. So we typed in b1.id equals 0, b1.name equals, I don't know, the name of the book, etc. But here we can see something completely different. So we have created a variable of type book. We have just named it book1. I could have just as well named it b1. Doesn't matter. I've just typed in. So sorry. It could have been b1, but I could have typed. I'm going to use book1. No big deal. Same thing, just different variable name. And then I began initializing its attributes one by one. So let's have a look. ID will be 0. Name of the book, well, I've literally placed the name of the book to be name of the book. Author, I don't know, unknown author. And then we have an attribute, which is actually a structure here, which is basically an attribute published, which is of type date, and date is a structure here. And then I needed this variable. I needed a variable which had all the attributes initialized, through which all the attributes are initialized. So dt date for book 1. Okay, dt for book 1. And here you see the single line initialization or the short initialization. Well, it's maybe not short or one line or whatever, but it's definitely more practical than typing in b1.id, b1.name, b1.author, b1.count, etc. This is far more convenient. So like 1, 2, 3. So what do I got here? Day, month, year. So it's 10th of the 10th of 2016. That's what I chose as a date. And then for book 2, again, some random date. It's 11th of the 11th of 2011. So just two variables. And then I've used this variable with all the attributes initialized, and I have placed it here so that the variable with book 1 would have all the attributes initialized, including the one of type date, and that type date would have that type date variable published would have all the elements, all the attributes initialized from the like day, month, year. So that could be printed out as well. Now, hopefully this is clear. So this is how you can initialize them. It's far more convenient to do it this way. Down below, you have basically this array that I talked about. So this is basically array books. It's not really that much different from a regular type array. No big deal. So look, here I have book, type book, and then the variable book1. Here again, I have type book, and the variable actually here this time it's books. And I am basically the books, that's the array, and I am giving it a size of 100. And it looks pretty much the same as a regular array, no difference there. Pretty much this is the first element, so the second element would be like 1, 2, 3, 4. No big deal, you could just list them on end until you reach the end of the array. No big deal. This is how you would initialize these elements, these attributes. The syntax, the syntax as an array, it's pretty much, as a regular array, it's pretty much as the same. That's what I want to say. And this is how you would initialize them. So the ID of, let's say, the third book is 10. Third because it's 0, 1, 2. That's what we learned about the arrays. The count begins from 0. So the ID of the third book is 10. The author of the 15th book is Tralalala. So that's the name of the author. Imaginary name, I might add. So the author of the 14th book would be tra-la-la-la, and the ID of the second book could be 10. And this is how you would access those attributes, and this is how you would basically, I don't know, just explained it through your printout. How would you access them to actually print them out? And let's go ahead and build and run this, and you will see 10 and tra-la-la-la. Simple as that. I mean, no big deal. There isn't that much difference from the standard regular arrays that we have learned about. Actually, to me, this part is more interesting up here as opposed to this one, because there is nothing really that much different here. In conclusion, structures are powerful abstraction tools in programming. Say we have to keep information about 100 books. Without structures, we would have to have like separate, not only without structures, but without arrays of structures. You would have something like this. You would have like int IDs, and then you would create some sort of an array here, and these would be the IDs for 100 books. And then you would have to have then you would have to have another array for names, and another name for authors, and another name for date, etc. But the array for date would be like the array for day, and then the array for month, and then the array for year. So that would make the job a lot difficult, because look, it would be like this: int year 100, and then you would have int day 100, and then you would have int month 100, and so on and so forth. You would have a download of these variables. They would be on end. But like this, we can save a lot of time by just having one array here instead of having all of these arrays here. A lot easier. But with structures, as I said, here, there's only one variable, array, and there you go. You don't need all of these. You can just have one of these, and that's it. And then you can have the list of attributes here, and then you can have an array here, so you can keep records for thousands and thousands and thousands of books, and there's only one array which you actually need to modify, and not 100 of them. A lot simpler, right? Hopefully. Yes. Anyway, bid you a farewell here. Wish you a download of luck with this. Anything that you wish to ask, feel free to go to the Q&A section. If you need tech support, go to the Q&A section. If you want to ask me something personally, feel free to send me a PM. I try to read all the messages, and I really do try to answer them all. If by some crazy chance I miss you or I fail to provide you with answers, just send me another message, because I probably didn't see it or something like that happened, or I accidentally skipped it. For that, I am sorry if it happens. But anyway, as I said, for anything that's not clear, please feel free to go to the Q&A section. Now we're going to wrap this tutorial up and go to the next chapter.